Hello everybody and welcome back to another video for the day. We are heading back into r/AmITheDevil, and if you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up them wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on them notifications. Also, if you guys would like to save 10% on your next order of gamer subs, use code Tommy at checkout, or click the link down below. It'll automatically apply the discount to your transaction, and it helps support the channel. Thank you. Am I the a-hole for demanding my ex-wife changes our kid's doctor? My 34M, wife 31F, and I have 3 kids, ages 14, 10, and 8. She has the kids through the week, and I got them on the weekends. Summer, we kind of wing it, but she has them the majority. We said the dissolution of marriage about 4 years ago, so we wrote down our parenting plan. I agreed that if the kids had appointments during my time, I'd take them, and I'd pay half for any extracurriculars. So, the issue is this. My youngest had an appointment with their doctor, and I had to take him since it's my time with them. When I showed up, the doctor with my kids, the receptionist stopped me. She asked who I was, and greeted my son by his first name. I tell them I'm his dad, and they tell me to hang on. They tried calling my wife, but she didn't answer. Then they called my wife's husband to verify I'm allowed to bring my own kid here. I was furious. I asked why they would ask him, and they just said they knew who he was, but had never seen me. I finished the appointment and then called my wife and told her that she is to change the doctor because it was disrespectful of them to call some random guy to verify if I'm my kid's dad. She said absolutely not, that the kids have the same doctor their entire lives, and she wasn't changing it because I wanted to be sensitive, and that it's not her fault that her husband goes to the appointments and I don't. This is just one of many power trips that she has gone on. We had an argument last week because she keeps putting them in all of these extra things. Theater, sports, and now some summer things because she put them in a new daycare while she's at work, and expects me to pay for half without asking me beforehand. She knows that I had to leave my job because of the schedule not allowing me weekends off to spend time with the kids. She will keep asking about child support like I don't know I'm behind. So obviously, if I can't pay, that I can't pay these. Then she gets hateful with me and says, just don't even worry about it. I am beyond mad at this point, but when I was venting to my parents, my brother told me that I was wrong, and actually stuck up for the guy my ex is with. It caused us to start arguing, and he called me a deadbeat. So now I'm wondering if I'm being a deadbeat by saying that I expect my kids' doctors to show decency to their parents. So let me get this straight. It's likely the doctors were asking you that because you're not normally the type of person, or you're not normally the one that would be dropping the kids off at the doctors whenever these appointments are happening, and like you have already stated, it was your wife's husband that happened to be doing that more. So, yeah, God forbid they actually have to confirm that you are in fact the kid's parents. And you really think that, oh yeah, this one bad thing happened, I don't want our kids going to that doctor anymore. Yeah, no, that is not going to fly, dude. I can guarantee you that. God forbid somebody call you a deadbeat because, you know, maybe they actually have something to back up that statement. My 23F girlfriend found out I, 22M, was taking one for the team when we first met, and now she is spiraling in insecurity. How do I get her to be confident in my attraction to her again? Using a throwaway account, but here's some super long backstory. About 2 years ago, I was at a party with a friend of mine who we'll call Josh. Me and Josh were just vibing to the music and just chilling when he suddenly spots 2 girls. The one he was interested in was this pretty blonde, while the other was her heavier friend. That's not to say her friend was unattractive, but just a little noticeably bigger than what could be considered average weight. Anyways, Josh turned to me and urged me to be his wingman by taking one for the team and distracting her friend while he chatted with the blonde. After a little back and forth, I decided to just do it to be a good friend. So, we made our way over and made our move, where I would go in first and start chatting with the friend, while Josh began flirting with the girl that he was interested in. Again, this friend I was talking to was by no means unattractive, just a bit heavier than what most guys, myself included at the time, would go for. I thought she was very sweet, even though I was just talking to her out of obligation. I didn't really matter it anyways, because ultimately, the girl Josh was into already had a boyfriend apparently, and had seemingly brushed him off, with him eventually patting me and on the way back to signify that I didn't have to chat with her friend anymore. So, I decided to politely end the conversation. However, not before she asked for my Instagram, which I decided to give her. I didn't really think much of it at the time, and I was certain that I would never see her again. However, a couple of days later, I ran into the same girl in my school's campus store. I didn't really recognize her at first, but she seemed to know me immediately. We decided to chat for a bit, and I was reminded of the name Megan, not her real name. Anyways, it was really just small talk until Megan suddenly seemed a little awkward. I asked her if everything was alright, and she replied that nothing was wrong, but she wanted to know if I wanted to go out with her sometime. This actually came as a shock to me, as it was the first time a girl had ever made the first move and asked me out. So, even though she wasn't really my type at the time, I said yes. And that was probably the best decision of my life. Me and Megan really hit it off, and before long, we were in a serious relationship. Any qualms I had about her weight were gone immediately after the first time that we messed around, as I actually found her body to be really soft and comforting. I had never felt so relaxed cuddling with someone before I met her. We've been dating for 2 years now, and I absolutely love her. She's my everything, and I have even been thinking about proposing as soon as we are both done with school. Everything was perfect, until last month. Last month, we hosted a small get-together, just for a few friends who are also in relationships, like a couple's game night sort of thing. It was here where Josh, who has been a good friend for years, was pretty drunk and made a joke how if he had never forced me to take one for the team back then, I would have never found the love of my life. The joke didn't really register to me as anything negative, and I was also drunk, so I just laughed it off. Megan was cuddled up next to me on the couch though, and asked what Josh really meant by that. I told her nothing, but Josh, being the drunk idiot that he was, elaborated and told her the story about how we met through my perspective at the time. Megan just said, "Oh," and didn't really react, so I figured that she had just brushed it off. However, the rest of the night, she seemed kind of distant and even a little sad. Finally, once everyone had left, she let it all out and started crying. She was essentially in shock because this whole time she thought I approached her then because I was interested in her, and learning it was caused I was forced to seemed to bring back an old insecurity within her. It doesn't help that she's actually gained weight since back then, even though I don't really have any problems with that and have told her that multiple times. I immediately gave her the full story about how I felt for her right after that, and I have loved and adored her ever since. She seemed reassured, and we even cuddled the whole night after that. Since that night, though, she's been acting differently. It's like she's lost her confidence around me. She only wears large, baggy clothing, even though she never used to before. She refuses to change with me in the room, and hardly eats in front of me. Before, I used to playfully tickle her stomach sometimes, and she'd always smile and play along. Now, she seems insecure when I so much as accidentally graze it. She also refuses to mess around without a shirt on. So far, I sat her down multiple times and explained that her body is incredibly attractive to me, and there's no one more beautiful in my eyes than her. But it's like she doesn't believe me. Lately, I've been thinking about offering her to come to the gym with me, but I'm scared that she may be more insecure at that suggestion. How do I get her to believe that I love her no matter what she looks like? That I truly adore her in all of her aspects? I just want her to be confident in herself again. Edit. First off, I want to express how grateful I am to everyone who commented. I wasn't expecting to get this many comments, and even though I didn't really reply to many, I certainly read the majority of them. It's only been a day since I made my post, so I don't really have any real update, but I just wanted to clarify a couple of things. 1. A lot of comments seem to have the idea that me and my friend have secretly been making fun of Megan behind her back for years, and I can assure you that this is not the case at all. I love Megan, and I would never intentionally make a hurtful joke at her expense, nor would I let any of my friends. At that time, I believed my joke Josh made to be at my expense, not Megan's. Sort of like making fun of me for not opening my horizons. I see how hurtful it came across, but trust me, I wouldn't have laughed it off if I had known that back then. It was also essentially the first time I had really even thought about the circumstances surrounding our first meeting in a long time. 2. There's also been a lot of misconceptions about the story I told in my post versus how Josh and I told it to Megan on that night. First, I'd like to reiterate again that both me and him were pretty drunk, and that even Megan was tipsy at the time. Josh basically told her that I was helping him out by talking to her that night we met, which I know is still an awful way of putting it, believe me, I know. I later elaborated and said that I was just playing wingman at first because I didn't see how amazing she truly was until our first date. Keep in mind, however, that I was still pretty drunk during this elaboration. In hindsight, when first typing this post, I should not have used the words pretty or heavier, but I wasn't really putting too much thought into it, as I knew it was a long story. But trust me when I say I did not put it that way to Megan. I know either way I screwed up by telling her about it, but as I said in my previous comment, I kind of panicked out of fear that she may take it in a worse manner. 3. A lot of you seem to think that I'm some sort of predatory douche who objectifies my own girlfriend, and I just want to cut that interpretation off immediately. I love this woman. I truly believe I want to spend the rest of my life with this woman. I want her to feel comfortable and sexy around me. The only reason I talk so much about how beautiful I find her body is because her body and how I view it is that what seems to be the source of her insecurities. I genuinely find it appalling that some people in the comments have this idea that I think I'm doing a service or something because I'm with a bigger girl. I love her, truly and wholeheartedly. Anyways, those are just some clarifications I wanted to make clear based on the comments that I've been seeing. Again, I want to thank everyone who responded with practical, genuine advice. As many have stated, this is something I have to work on slowly over time, so I don't think I'll be updating this anytime soon. However, I am considering bringing up possibly seeing a couples counselor or therapist to Megan, as I believe that she needs to stop ignoring the issues and be fully open with it. I'm just scared that she may have an anxiety attack or something if I do, because, as I mentioned in some of the comments, she's very anxious when it comes to addressing relationship issues. I might update if we do end up doing that, though. Thank you, everyone. So let me get this straight. You very much went off of somebody's appearance first before actually getting to talk to them, and you didn't even have any type of interest in talking to this person in the first place because, God forbid, their appearance might not be the most appealing to you because they're just a bit heavier, but you wanted to help your buddy out, you know, and just do him a solid by talking to this woman, and then you just suddenly actually wound up, hey, thinking maybe there might in fact be something more to somebody than just their appearance. People might actually be likable for what's on the inside, not just what their outside appearance is. I'm hoping that your relationship gets better, and I very much do know what that insecurity about being a heavier person is, because yeah, I'm a squishy person myself. I very much know what it's like to think, oh yeah, I didn't have any interest in you because you were a bigger person. And it's not easy to get rid of that kind of stuff. It's not really easy to get rid of that anxiety. And if you actually really do like this person, then you're going to very much work on fixing things, but it has to be at their pace. You can't just speed run this kind of thing. Counseling could help. It could very much help give everybody an understanding of like what the other person's perspective is, and hopefully there's some positive ending that can come out of this all. And all just really comes into the whole thing being condensed down to constantly reaffirming that you weren't initially attracted to bigger women until your friend asked you to being his wingman to this all. Am I the a-hole for confronting my boyfriend's cousin and saying that he has an issue with me? Me, F30, and my long-distance boyfriend, M31, were having a cute summer day out. My boyfriend, let's call him Adam for this story, received a text message from his cousin, M28, who was with his new girlfriend, F28, from that weekend. Amber, fake name. Adam reads the message out loud from the cousin. The cousin says, "When girlfriend, me, has gone home, come meet me in Amber." I automatically took offense to this and thought that it was very rude, as myself and cousin seemed to really get along. Adam said that he didn't want to meet Amber and cousin and was going to go straight home after our day out. Around 2 months later, Adam and cousin were having a drinking weekend at one of their mutual friends' houses. Adam called me drunkenly and said to speak to the cousin. I said I don't want to, as he clearly has a problem with me. Cousin then got on the phone and sounded very rude and abruptly said, "Adam said he wanted to talk to me." So I said, "No, I didn't. You clearly have an issue with me." He obviously asked why, so I explained that I didn't appreciate that he wanted Adam to meet him and Amber after I had gone home. I said it was rude, and that me and Adam were a couple. A cousin then went on to say that it was his and Amber's decision for her to only meet Adam, as they were a new couple and she didn't want to meet too many people. I explained that was fine if I was not there, but since I was there, it was uncalled for to get rid of me and expected my boyfriend Adam to go meet Amber. Cousin said that he didn't have a problem with me as he does not know me, as he only met me twice. However, when me and Adam first got into a relationship, he would constantly bug us by group calling us and constantly messaging/calling when we were out. And he also said that he likes me or Adam as I make him very happy. He then went on to say that he approves of our relationship. Being the sassy girl I am, I said I didn't need his approval, which he seemed to take offense to. He also dropped in that. Cousin said Amber does not have a problem with you, which I found strange since I never asked. I did say, why would she, as she never met me or spoken to me? To me, it seemed like Amber does have a problem if she was to randomly say this. Cousin ran straight to Adam after this convo and claimed that I was out of order for claiming that he had an issue with me. Am I the a-hole for saying that he had an issue with me? Well, I can tell you this right now, if you were trying to give them a reason to like you, you're doing the exact opposite. You're giving a whole bunch of reasons for them to not want to do anything with you. God forbid, they happen to have said, hey, when you're done hanging out with your girlfriend, would you want to hang out with us? They weren't trying to drag your boyfriend away from you. They were just basically telling you, hey, when you guys are all done hanging out, would you want to come hang out with us afterwards? Also, way to go with the responses and everything. Oh yeah, this person doesn't have a problem with you. And your response just straight up being, well, why would she have a problem with me? I don't know, you're doing a pretty good job giving them a few reasons. But with that is going to have to be it with the video. If you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support, and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up them wholesome internet discussions, And if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. And I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye!